leaving Alberton with the flag to his name. The Port Grade has announced his retirement after 270 games. He was also named the club's best and fairest 3 times and an All-Australian 4 times. Gray says a premiership has eluded him, but he hopes there's one in Port's not too distant future.
Yeah, it's disappointing, not to have one, that's for sure, but I know I've given everything to the game and to this footy club, so I look forward to watching on and watching this group hopefully get what they deserve. I hope that happens really soon.
Alistair Clarkson has reportedly told Essendon he has interest in coaching the Bombers next year as talks are about to ramp up with the premiership coach. As Arton Worley reports, Ben Rutten is getting on with the job today as a cloud hangs over his future.
Just highlighting how absurd and difficult this situation has become for Ben Rutten. He was actually out on the track here at Tullamarine taking training. He's been forced to go about his daily business as the club actively pursues former Hawthorn premiership coach Alistair Clarkson. So the question now is, what is Alistair Clarkson's next move? He'd been a whole long way down the track with North Melbourne as part of their search for a new coach, but Essendon now trying to gazump that North bid. Met with Clarkson's management yesterday.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Waterloo Corner, look out for a trailer fire. It's on the north-south motorway near Waterloo Corner Road. McGill burst water main there. Penfold Road near McGill Road. Penfold Road is closed at Giles Street, and we've got detours in place. Wingfield, you find a breakdown on the north-south motorway. That's near Wing Street, and we're quite busy South Road at Mile End. Cameras to look out for Clark Terrace, Seaton, and Gawler Road at Virginia. Radelaide, your favourite Harris Scarf store, has had a makeover. Marion's grand reopening is August 25th at 9 a.m. Don't miss all the fun and the doorbuster deals. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 9. Late showers tomorrow, 19. Thursday rain, 16. And Friday showers, 15. Right now it's 14 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
An Adelaide mum accused of an unthinkable crime, and the Good Samaritan who saved her little boys' lives. Why more people are working multiple jobs to make ends meet. Is it worth taking on a side hustle? The new supermarket club, 10% off all groceries. And Gray's Day. The power star calls time on a stellar career at Alberton. I'm Kate Collins. See the full story on 9 News Tonight at 6.
Terry White Chemmart has real deals on our ibuprofen 96 tablets at just $13.99. Plus, Demazin 12-hour decongestant nasal spray 20ml 2-pack for $11.89. Get real deals every day at Terry White Chemmart. Always follow the directions for use. Ends August 23.
Building a fence, shed, retaining wall and so much more requires good quality steel. At Knorr Metals, we've got you covered no matter what you need. From the home handyman to structural engineer, we have steel supplies to suit what you're looking for. And if we don't, we'll source it for you quickly and at the best price. Plus, we can cut your steel on site to meet your exact measurements. No matter what you need, you'll get it at Knorr Metals, 255 Grand Junction Road, Ottaway.
Do you want fresh filtered water flowing through your home? Choose a system by Complete Home Filtration. Joining me from Complete Home Filtration is Suzanne Dodds, who incidentally won the Telstra 2022 Business Awards. So what's the benefits of filtered water, Suzanne?
Well, the benefits of filtering water for the whole home mean that you don't just enjoy filtered water for drinking, but for showering and bathing as well. So people see big differences in softer skin, softer hair, unlimited bottled water, quality water from every tap.
That sounds great. So where can we purchase one?
You can just jump online and go to completehomefiltration.com.au.
That's completehomefiltration.com.au.
Taste, feel, see the difference.
Ray White, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer, and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA.
Hey, it's Callum here. Looking for something small, medium or large? Edwardstown Mazda have most models in stock, ready to drive away. You can feel confident in the team at Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
edwardstownmazda.com.au, LNVD 207428.
It's the Berkowitz Big Brand Sale. Save up to 25% online or in store at Berkowitz Mile End.
This is Leaf Forest.
Sitting in for Jade Robin on this Tuesday afternoon. If you're watching our live stream, YouTube and Facebook, you're about to see Trent Nikolic very shortly from drive.com.au. We're taking all of your motoring questions, 8223 0000. If you have a question for Trent, don't leave it too late. This always happens. People have questions, they leave it to too late. Make sure you call in now if you've got a question for Trent. Just quickly before Trent, on the back of chatting with Andy Lee about the 100, and I mentioned that we wash our towels after every wash, shower, bath, etc., because we like to have a fresh towel every time. It's like going to a hotel. Well, I'm getting hammered again on social media about this. Somebody said I'm full of. I got absolutely smashed. I'm unanimously being labelled as an OCD clean freak. It is a great question, though. This one from Mike says our family uses one side of the towel for each shower, so one towel for 2 washes. Thinking of the environment and cutting back on washing pollutants. Well done to you, Mike. Shane says, Leith, you're a 4-year-old child. You still don't eat fruit and vegetable. Where do you get your fibre? You know what I've started, Shane? Metamucil. There's a little tip for players. That's a good thing, Metamucil. And then somebody said you're meant to wash your backside in the shower, not on the towel. I agree, but again, you're drying it, and then all of a sudden you're washing or drying your face the next day with it. So why wouldn't you want a clean towel? Big issues on the show, no doubt.
Life is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long. If you're going my way, I wanna drive it all night long.
Bit of Tom Cochrane can only mean one thing. Trent Nikolic joins us from drive.com.au, managing editor. Welcome, Trent.
Good afternoon, Leith. Good afternoon, everyone.
You're a sensible man, Trent. You would wash your towels often, I'm guessing?
I do wash my towels often, mate. Yes, I'm a little bit OCD and a little bit of a neat freak as well, so I share your pain, but I do wash my towels often.
Every day?
Not every day, no, but
Okay.
I reckon it'd be sort of under, probably 4 or 5 I might use them, I reckon.
Okay.
But then I suppose, if it's in summer and you're having a couple of showers in a day or whatever, rather than, one when you get home from work, you're going to need to wash it sooner, I would imagine.
Oh, I was having a chat to someone who I shouldn't really name, Michaela in the newsroom, who was saying once a week. Like, come on, Trent.
That's outrageous.
That's
outrageous, Michaela.
She does Pilates and all sorts. Anyway, how's things going in the motoring world? Hey, Elvis is passing 45 years. There's a man who loved his cars.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. He did love his cars, and having been to Graceland twice, there's a fantastic museum across the road, and it's really interesting. That's what started the discussion in the office today. So today in Australia, tomorrow in America, is the 45th anniversary of his passing, and we were just talking about the cars that he's owned, and then we sort of delved into a bit of a rabbit hole. We were trying to work out what the last car he drove was, and the last photograph of him is of him driving back into Graceland late at night, sometime around midnight, I think, after a late-night visit to the dentist, apparently, in a 1973 Stutz Black Hawk. Now, Americans call it Stutz, but it's Stutz, as we say it, S-T-U-T-Z, Black Hawk, which is this sort of lavishly handcrafted coach-built car based on an American platform. So it started life as a Pontiac Grand Prix, and then it was sent to Italy and recrafted into this very expensive, like at the time they were $30,000, give or take, in 1973 US dollars, which was a lot of money. And apparently Elvis had bought this car in 1973, and when he died in 77, he still owned it. And a lot of the reading I did today when we were putting the piece together indicates that he tended to turn his cars over every 2 to 3 years. So the fact that he still had this one almost 5 years after he bought it indicates that he really did love it. It was reportedly his favourite car. But I tell you what, the story's going live on our website soon. Go and check it out later today, and you let us know whether you think it's a good-looking car, because I think it's a pretty ugly-looking thing, Leith, to be honest.
So drive.com.au. Can I just tell you before we take some calls, Trent? So there's a legend here in Adelaide called Johnny Mack, like a singer, had a hit back in the day with Pink Champagne back in sort of the mid-60s.
I've heard of him, yep.
He got one of Elvis's Cadillacs, and he said it was the worst thing of all time. He had a gold-painted Cadillac Eldorado. So it went from like Priscilla's dad or some Priscilla family. It went to like an Elvis collector by the name of Jimmy Velvet. It then went on to Johnny. So Jimmy and Johnny knew each other. So Johnny got Elvis's Cadillac. He said it was a complete disaster because people were trying to pinch stuff off it. People were trying, like there were bomb threats, there was death threats. They were like, you shouldn't have Elvis's car. In the end, he had to sort of, hide it and cover it to try and get it out of the state because he couldn't drive it because he was just copping so much grief about it.
Pointless owning it, right? If you can't use it. Yeah.
So much money, but, just all this grief that comes with it. So we look forward to that. We'll check that out on the website when it goes up there. Trent Nikolic is my guest if you've got a motoring question, as Daniel does from Mawson Lakes. Fire away, Daniel, for Trent.
Yeah, g'day, guys. How you going?
Good, thank you, mate.
Yeah, good. I've got a couple of questions. So we've just put a deposit down on the MUX, the top model, the LST.
Yes.
But it comes with 20-inch rims, and we obviously like everything about it other than 20-inch rims because we want to obviously use it for driving and all that. But the tyre dealers down here were telling us that with the placard on the door, it says you can only keep the 20s on there and you can't downsize. Is that
no? That's
true,
that's not entirely true. So I'll answer this question first before you ask the next one, mate. That's not entirely true, and generally, the way that it works, mate, and it's different in every state, but generally the way that it works is it's the rolling diameter, so the overall rolling diameter of the tyre. So you could downsize to an 18-inch rim, which we've done with an MUX before, because to your point, you don't want to do any serious off-roading with a 20-inch rim and a low-profile tyre. So what you can do is you downsize to an 18-inch rim and you run a taller tyre, but the overall rolling diameter stays within the same amount, give or take, so you don't go too far over it. So in theory, that shouldn't be a problem, mate, answering your first question.
Yeah, sweet. That's what I thought, because the lower models are 17 and 18 inch, so I didn't make
correct.
Sense that we couldn't
Yeah,
tell.
correct. Yep.
Second question was, we've got a Pajero at the moment, 2016 GLX NX, only done 95,000 K, obviously looking to sell that. What do you reckon they're worth at the moment? Because on Cars Guide and all that, it's all over the place. Some people ask for heaps and some look like they're normal.
Yeah, I think the key for that, mate, is the kilometres. So when you go to Car Sales, Cars Guide, we've got classifieds on Drive as well. If you have a look at what they're selling for privately, and I'd be, unless you can find one that's got exactly the same kilometres as yours, say yours has got, you did say, but just say for argument's sake it's got 100,000 and everything else has got 150 or 200, I'd be adding 20% on top of the cars that have got higher kilometres, because for a lot of buyers in the second-hand market now, people are tending to sell a car that's got a good service history, it's been maintained and looked after, and in a market that we're in at the moment where everybody's asking all sorts of wild numbers for cars, the real currency for me and a lot of people who's buying a second-hand car would be the kilometres on the car. So if I can get your car with less Ks, I'm willing to pay more for it. So that's what I'd look at. I'd have a look at the kilometres on the other ones for sale.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much. Unreal.
Appreciate the call,
Good on you,
Daniel.
mate. And good purchase too with the MUX, Daniel. Really good thing. You'll enjoy it.
Well done. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate the call. If you've got a question for Trent, 8223 0000 is the number. Trent Nikolic, Managing Editor of Drive.com.au, and a man who is clean, nice and clean, washing his towels appropriately. We'll get to more of your questions after this.
Tomorrow on 5AA, Leon Biner speaks exclusively with the 25th Prime Minister of Australia, John Howard.
It has been an incredible privilege to be the Prime Minister of the greatest country in the world.
Hear what Mr. Howard has to say about his time in the top job, the current state of politics, and his views on national security. The Honourable John Howard, live and exclusive, tomorrow morning from 11:30 with Leon Biner on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Introducing the Kia Cars of the Year. The Kia Cars of the Year. The fully electric Kia EV6, the Wheels Car of the Year, and the Drive Car of the Year, the Kia Sportage. To pick your side in this sibling rivalry, visit kia.com.au.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
During winter, your immune system is important to help fight colds and flu. So try Arbor Vitae supplements to help support the health and function of your immune system. Arbor Vitae comprises potent natural anti-inflammatory and antioxidant ingredients that can support and offer relief to a range of ailments. Arbor Vitae supplements may also help maintain healthy blood glucose and cholesterol and support cognitive function, eye health and immune function. Arbor Vitae can be bought over the counter at chemists and health food stores all across South Australia. For the list of stockists, visit arborvitae.com.au. That's ARBORVITAE.com.au.
Your immune system needs all the help it can get to fight cold and flu, so look for Arbor Vitae today. You can call an order on 1300 879 863 or check out the Facebook page and see firsthand what people have to say about the benefits of Arbor Vitae. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Time for new tyres? At Bridgestone Select, you'll get more with 4. Buy 3 selected Bridgestone tyres and get the 4th free. Limited time only, conditions apply. For tyres and auto service you can count on, head for Bridgestone Select.
So Lidham's Dental know that people lose confidence in themselves, maybe damaged or rotten teeth, unattractive smile. They're afraid of things, job interviews, going on a date, maybe that important moment like walking your daughter down an aisle. Lidham's Dental's all-on-4 treatment transforms smiles and it transforms lives. It's simple, it's comfortable, and there are ways to make it affordable. Best of all, it only takes a day. If you'd like to learn more following today's interactive lounge with Dr. Arnie Lidhams, you can call into the green room right now to speak to a rep from Lidhams Dental, off air, confidential. New smile, new you. Lidhams Dental, and that's in just 24 hours. 8223 0055 or lidhamsdental.com.au.
This is Professor Michael Kidd, Deputy Chief Medical Officer, with some important ways to protect yourself, others and our healthcare system from the current surge in new COVID-19 cases. When leaving home, please wear a mask when indoors or in crowded places. Cover your cough and wash your hands. Remember physical distancing. Test if you have symptoms and stay home if you have COVID-19. Together we can help slow the spread. Find out more at australia.gov.au.
Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
It's the Berkowitz Big Brand Sale. Save up to 25% online or in store at Berkowitz Mile End.
This is Leith Forest.
Sitting in for Jade Robberin this afternoon. Jade returning tomorrow. Trent Nikolic is here from drive.com.au. Always great to have you on, Trent. You're one of my favourite guests because I learn things too. I'm a bit of a car nuffy. I don't know a great deal, so you're educating them and me. There's a couple of questions coming through before we get to some calls. Jim says, Trent, why can't you attach a tow bar to a sports car?
Good question, Jim, and I have fun coming on with you, Leith, as well, mate, so thank you. It's a good question. You can, in theory, attach a tow bar to anything. Like, I've seen, this will sound ridiculous, but there's actually a Lamborghini running around in Sydney that a guy tows a box trailer around behind, and I think he does it just for a joke, and he puts it on Facebook. It's actually pretty funny. You can, in theory, attach a tow bar to anything. I think it's just, with a sports car, because of the design of them, especially if the engine's at the back, like that Lambo, there's just a complexity of where you'd have the mounting points and where you can access the chassis to put the tow bar in. But in theory, for Jim there, if your pockets are deep enough, I think you can have a tow bar attached to just about anything.
God, imagine driving around with a box trailer, just your hard rubbish on the back of your
Ferrari,
on the back of your Lambo. Albie says, can you tell me the issue, please, Trent, with the new 300 series Land Cruiser motor? Is there a problem? That's what I've heard.
No significant issues that we're aware of yet. There were some interesting things with the steering rack that they looked at, Leith, as well, just to have a look at that. It's quite interesting. We've done a lot of remote area touring already in the 300 series with testing, and we've actually shown it to some mechanics out in the bush who wanted to know. They hadn't seen them yet. They hadn't had a good look at them. And they just wanted to know about the complexity because the V6 twin-turbo engine, one of the characteristics of it that a lot of people are concerned about is the positioning of the turbos. But according to the mechanics we've spoken to, it doesn't look like it's going to be a huge problem for durability, so long as you get them serviced, obviously, as you should. But at this stage, we're not aware of any major issues with engines. The bigger issue Toyota's got is getting enough of them to satisfy demand.
Yeah. Let's head to McGill. Amy has a question for you, Trent, about Volkswagen. Hello, Amy.
Oh, hello, guys.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, I'm just inquiring. I am looking for a new car. I just wondered what your thoughts were on the T-Cross.
Yeah, T-Cross is excellent. So T-Cross and T-Roc are new in the Volkswagen lineup, and it's a great little car, the T-Cross. We really like it. So it sort of scores around that 7.8 to 8 out of 10 mark for us. and it's really well put together. It's a good little thing to drive. So, yeah, we're big fans of it. If that's what you decide to do, I think you'll enjoy it. So it's a good little car.
Oh, good. Could I just ask, would that be a better option than the MG ZF?
Yeah, look, I think to be fair to the MG, you're not really comparing an Apple with an Apple there, Amy. I think one is like a premium or a much more premium offering, and the other one's more about someone who's on a really sharp budget. So I think if your spend extends to what Volkswagen's asking for the T-Cross, I reckon for me it's a much better option for you than the MG. I think the MG is the one that you're looking at if you're on a super tight budget, if you want the most affordable vehicle you can get. But I think if money's not the primary driver for you, I reckon the T-Cross is a better option.
Okay. Oh, that's lovely. Thanks for your help.
Amy, thank you for
No
the
worries.
call.
Good luck with it.
Appreciate that. Roger from Glenside. Go ahead, Roger. You're speaking to Trent.
Oh, hi, Trent and me. Just
G'day, Roger.
About hybrids. Now, in the advertiser, a month or so ago, they compared a new Corolla Cross, which is coming out shortly, with a Nissan Qashqai.
Yes.
Now, they both have a different sort of hybrid system. The Corolla one we know is the same as the Prius. But the Qashqai, in the paper, it stated the engine is there just to turn over to produce electricity for the hybrid system. Have you heard about this, and what are your thoughts?
So you're right. There are different approaches to hybrid technology. That's absolutely right. So it's not a plug-in hybrid, and it's not a mild hybrid, and it doesn't work like the RAV4 hybrid does either. So you're absolutely right. I think, to be honest, I think the way that Nissan's doing it with the Qashqai is interesting because it's slightly different to the other offerings. We haven't test-driven it extensively yet to be able to give you really detailed feedback. We've driven it at the international launch overseas, but not driven it in Australia. And I think it's not new in terms of other manufacturers have done it. So basically, to explain to listeners who don't know what we're talking about, the three-cylinder engine that is in the Qashqai, what it does is it works like a generator. So it generates electricity, which is then sent to an inverter. That electricity goes either into the battery to be used later or directly to the electric motor to drive the front wheels. So if you think of the engine that's in the Qashqai in the same way as you would a generator that you use out on a farm when the power goes out, you put some petrol in a little engine that's like a lawnmower engine, and it powers everything. That's how this works. In theory, what it does is it reduces the load on the petrol engine, and it means you're effectively driving an electric vehicle, but rather than charging it with electricity, you're charging it with petrol. I think in theory it's going to work really well. BMW have done it before with their little i3. They had similar technology. And what it does do is it reduces the emissions that you're putting out from the car anyway. So if you're trying to have a decent impact on the environment and make a change, this will work well because basically the petrol engine never runs too hard. It kind of just chugs along enough to generate the electricity. So I think it's, as you said, a different take on doing on the same thing. But yeah, I think it'll work well.
So many questions you get, isn't it, about hybrids, EVs, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
On that, Oscar said, can you ask Trent what he thinks about the Hummer electric and any idea of a date for it coming to Australia?
Yeah, okay. So I drove it in America about 3 weeks ago. I was over there with General Motors and I drove it at the testing ground in Detroit. The Hummer EV is mind-boggling in its capability, Lee. So it's a full-sized Hummer.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's not like the H3 that was most recently on sale in Australia. It's the big one. So it's like an H1 or an H2. And it's fully electric. It's got 3 electric motors, 2 at the rear, 1 at the front. It's got all of the off-road hardware. It's incredibly capable on-road and unbelievably capable off-road because of the way that the systems work. And it can do all manner of things that you would never expect it to do. At this stage, I think if you sort of pinned me down and you know had said you've got to give me an answer, I would say it's unlikely it will come to Australia at all.
Okay.
General Motors hasn't confirmed either way. They haven't said yes or no, so I'm not telling you that with any authority. That's just my gut instinct. But I'll tell you one thing. I said this to the guys in the office after I drove it. If it was to come to Australia, there's no way they could get enough stock to satisfy the demand. It wouldn't be cheap. It'd be probably 150 grand or something like that, but I can tell you that they could not get enough of.
Kind of defeats the Hummer purpose, doesn't it? You just, you kick backside and you take names. That's what a Hummer's all about. But you're actually saving the environment on the way. Always great to chat, Trent. Thank you for taking those calls. And I'd urge everyone not only to get onto drive.com.au to read all the articles, including one the next time we have more time I want to talk to you about, when you want to drive a Tesla but not be a Tesla driver. It's almost like the new version of the Volvo driver, if you like. We'll get into that, but also the big special coming up on Elvis and his cars. You can see that too at drive.com.au. Keep washing those towels, Trent. Great to speak. Speak to you soon.
Thanks, Lee. Bye, mate.
All the best. Trent Nikolic from drive.com.au. If you love your motoring, if you love vehicles, everything you need to know, and you'll have a lot of fun at drive.com.au.
I'm Richard Pascoe, Adelaide Tech Guy. You've got to love motorised automated curtains and blinds by Country Blinds. My favourite feature is scheduling, opening and closing times. Having your curtains and blinds automatically open and close at set times each day can save on heating and cooling costs. Then there's security. Program your curtains and blinds so that it never looks like there's no one at home, and you'll keep the bad guys guessing. For a free measure and quote, visit countryblinds.com.au.
I was a passenger in a serious crash when a car came out of nowhere. My life was completely turned upside down and I couldn't return to work. This was emotionally and financially overwhelming. But with my free meeting with Marnie's lawyers, I found out I was able to make a claim. They gave me advice about my rights and offered a no-win, no-fee payment arrangement. Thanks to the team at Marnie's, I received the compensation I was entitled to.
Marnie's Lawyers, injury compensation experts. marnieslawyers.net.au.
If you want a retaining wall that will last through the searing summers, wet winters and everything in between, you've got to use concrete sleepers from Outback Sleepers. They are perfect. Maybe you're building a retaining wall, garden edging. They come in a variety of patterns and colours. The best thing about Outback Sleepers, they're the strongest concrete sleepers on the market, and they come with a 35-year product warranty. 35 years. So think about that. Once you put your order in, it is there for a lifetime. If your builder is not using Outback Sleepers, you got to say, why not? In the last 20 years, this South Australian company has made over 3 million of them. They last for generations because the company that makes them only makes concrete sleepers. Nothing else. That's why they are the experts. If you want to get your hands on some, ask for the brand Outback Sleepers. They're sold at over 60 local landscaping and hardware stockists. You can look online too at outbacksleepers.com.au.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. Police have praised the efforts of a man who came to the rescue of 2 young boys who were allegedly stabbed by their mother on the north-south motorway last night. Senior Liberal MP Karen Andrews is calling on Scott Morrison to resign from Parliament after it was revealed he secretly took on 5 extra portfolios between 2020 and 21. Health authorities have reported a new case of monkeypox in South Australia, and Port Adelaide's Robbie Gray has announced his retirement, with this weekend's showdown to be his final game for the club. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 9. Currently it's 14 degrees. More news at 4 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
When you switch to Aldi, you'll save more on everyday items like fresh Aussie meat coming through. And then you can spend more on other things, like enjoying fresh snow on the slide. You okay, mate? Never been better. So don't change your lifestyle, change your supermarket. Aldi, good, different.
G'day, it's Jared for Southern Mitsubishi. Thinking Mitsubishi or servicing your existing car? Southern Mitsubishi stock the full range, all designed to thrill. And they can service any make or model. 147 Main South Road, Morphett Vale. Driven by Australian Motors. LVD 80.
This Remember September, you choose the challenge. Give it up or move it. Maybe give up something you like caffeine, sugar or alcohol. Easy, right? It's free to enter and you'll be helping Pankind help fund life-saving pancreatic cancer research. Connect with workmates, friends or family no matter where they are. Remember September, a way to honour someone lost to pancreatic cancer or stand with those fighting the disease. Register now at rememberseptember.org.au.
It's the Berkowitz Big Brand Sale. Save up to 25% online or in store at Berkowitz Mile End.
This is Leith Forest.
Sitting in for Jade Robber, and Jade returning tomorrow, 26 minutes to 4. Tim Ginniver, Stephen Rowe, less than half an hour away. Big show on the way too. Matty Nix, Crows coach. Graham Corn's part of the show today, so look out for that from 4 o'clock. Eddie from Valley Views called in about the Magpies. Hey, Eddie.
Hey, Leith. How
Very
are
well,
you,
thanks.
mate?
Good.
I heard you again. I've been on about my Magpies that come out of the big dump here on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually got the father eating out of my hand. So, like every year, he brings the family. I call them the family.
Yep.
And I usually on the lawn, I give him a little bit, but he eats out of my hand. I've got yet the mothers that eat out of my hand, but it seems to be the same ones all the time.
Yeah.
The father simply comes down, but he always brings his little babies down, when they're about to fly, and he's trying to introduce them to me, but I haven't. They're a beautiful bird. I haven't got. But I want to pat one. I can't even pat one. He won't let me come near and I'll give him a pat on the head.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, Eddie, if you heard the doctor earlier, he was saying how intelligent magpies are. They'll remember your face. So if he obviously thinks and knows that you're safe to be around, maybe that's why he's a little bit more sort of encouraging for that. But it's interesting
that's true, Lee.
Yeah.
He's bringing the family down to meet me as well. Like, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So every year he does it, and it must be the same father because. For 3-4 years now, it's the same one that brings his babies down.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? Great story, Eddie. Thank you for that. Appreciate the call. Send you off to the Wallace Cinemas, Ed. Go and watch any of the great movies now showing at any of the Wallace Cinemas, including the new Elvis film. You might want to check that out. Appreciate the call. Before we get to Tim, Lisa says, I heard your comments about being swooped by the magpies in Millicent. I'm also from there. I have terrible memories of the fear when I walked to primary school with my brother. We'd run with our satchels on our heads, couldn't hear them. It was very frightening for little kids. I remember sitting in the class and having a headache about an hour later. Asked the teacher to have a look and I was missing chunks of hair. Skin had opened up. Skull was almost showing, Timmy. It wasn't pleasant. And on the bath towels, Wayne says, I use a bath towel twice before I wash it, but I also use the tag that is stitched to the towel as a guide. So the tag signifies the bottom of the towel, so I use that for the bottom of my body. How smart is that?
Brilliant.
How often do you wash your towels?
None of your business.
That wouldn't go so well on Andy Lee's show, so you've got to answer the question.
But Magpies, look, they knew that you're a Carlton supporter. That's why they were swooping you.
Yeah. God, they were frightening though as kids.
They are.
Like,
They are classic.
because you'd ride your bike and then all of a sudden you'd sort of get that.
Did you do the ice cream container on
Yeah,
the head?
yeah, I said that to the doc earlier. I don't think I ever did it. Mum and Dad told us, you can see this on the live stream.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad told us, wave your hand over your head like this. So I would ride my bike and they'd come. And same year, and that was the only way we could get to school. And so you'd be riding, like holding onto the handlebars.
Just protect their nest. It's coming up, of course.
Oh,
isn't it?
no.
The season. So,
Hey, big show on the way. I mentioned Matty Nix. A lot to speak to about with the Crows coach.
Absolutely, and get a bit of a rundown on where he sees the rebuild because it's year 3. They've won 8 games and they've got 1 to go. So you're looking at it, and there's a lot of upside, 3 in a row just recently. So there's a lot of buoyancy at West Lakes.
Yeah, Graham Corns. Who knows with stud? Last week he had a fight.
Are you asking if he's buoyant or
who knows what you'll get from Graham today? I'm trying to think.
You never know what you're going to get. Of course, the big story though, that some people calling him the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Yes,
Robbie Gray has retired. He's decided to hang up the boots and. Look, it's. I think it's always sad when one of your greats gives it away, but when it's one of your really big ones. I mean, he's going to be up there with the best of Port Adelaide's players of all time.
I've heard many say that, the 3, Treadray, Wanganeen and Gray in no particular order. Hard to, as Graham says, look at the record, hard to not have Robbie in the top 3. What a star he's been.
Absolutely, and deservedly so. So I think it's been very well handled by the footy club, giving him that rest last week, making sure he's as fresh as he possibly could to come into this game. And they'll be pulling out all stops to try and win what is going to be a really cracking showdown.
Can't wait. Interesting the kind of player he is, how magical on field. Really quiet and shy off field, isn't he?
Yeah.
So,
he could do with a bit of Timmy Ginniver.
He could do with a little bit of that.
I got plenty to share. To share.
We're about to speak to a Elvis tribute performer.
Oh, good.
Just a quick word on the King as someone who loves his music. 45 years today, the King left the earth. Or did he?
That he passed away, exactly. Yeah, did he? But look, I remember the day, and I remember my mate walking up to me and say, Timmy, Elvis has died. And I said, what do you mean he's died? And he said, he's passed away, he's died. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, how old is he? And I was pretty young, I was 11, I think. And he goes, 42. I said, oh, yeah, that's fairly old. It's amazing your view on life when you're 11, isn't it?
I'm going to play, just before we speak to Len, I'll play in full the American version of it. This was hilarious, though. So this is the ABC reporting on Elvis's death.
At the time.
Now, there was a budget issue going on. So what would take preference today? If the king of rock and roll died, I think he'd lead the bulletin. Not so on the ABC.
Company tax is being increased, and the Commonwealth Public Service is to take a further cut. Elvis Presley has died at the age of 42.
And on to the next story. Like, how's that? Could you be more dismissive
The
of the
price of
king?
beans has gone.
That's right. Meantime, the budget gets first running because it's finance, and we understand that. But
Amazing.
There you go, 45 years.
The king.
We'll see you at 4 o'clock.
Hooroo.
Tim Ginniver, Stephen Rowe, the 5AA Sports Show coming up from 4. But let's talk about it because it is 45 years on this day, August 16, that the king, Elvis Aaron Presley, left this earth.
Good evening. Elvis Presley died today. He was 42. Apparently it was a heart attack. He was found at his home in Memphis, not breathing. His road manager tried to revive him. He failed. A hospital tried to revive him. It failed. His doctor pronounced him dead at 3 o'clock this afternoon. The end, at an early age, of one of the two most spectacular careers in the history of American entertainment, the other being Frank Sinatra's. Presley was very nearly at the peak of his career when he was drafted into the Army. That was 1958. Here he's arriving for a tour of duty in Germany, an enlisted man driving a Jeep. He could have gone into what they call special services and avoided the kind of time put in by ordinary soldiers, but Presley didn't. Actually, he trained as a tank man. He sold records in the multiples of millions, made millions, bought a string of Cadillacs, one after another, gave away a string of Cadillacs to people he liked, and along the way he was married in 1967 to Priscilla Ann Bullier. The very symbol of sex for all of the millions or hundreds of thousands of teenagers, was married only once, and then relatively late. The couple had one child, a daughter. The marriage did not last very long. It ended in divorce.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
So, as we know, the world continues to mourn the passing of the king. Even in the paper today, there were tributes and condolences, one from the Elvis Fan Club of South Australia and another from Maureen, who just said that she still misses the king. As we know, there are Elvis impersonators and tribute acts right around the globe, but there's only one Indigenous that evolves and performs at Elvis Fest. He joins me this afternoon. Len Connolly, lovely to speak to you, Len.
Hi, Lee. How you going,
I'm
mate?
very well. Can you believe that? 45 years, 4.5 decades since we lost the king.
Yes, it's been a long time. I can remember where I was at the time. Yeah, so it's a sad loss, but his legacy lives on pretty well.
Doesn't he? Now, you perform as Elvis. You've been doing it for, what, 10 years or so now, 15 years?
Yes, professionally, yes. I was singing Elvis before I went to school.
Mm.
And I used to go to the school, mission school, and teacher would ask me to sing Teddy Bear to the class, you know, so, yeah.
So is that from your parents? How did you discover this early love for the king?
I think it's from my parents, yeah. Had old records back in the day, and my mum had a great singing voice, and I just heard Elvis singing. I just liked his voice, I liked his style, I liked his charisma, you know, and, yeah.
Can you give us a line from Teddy Bear? Let's imagine you, Len Connolly, as a young boy in the snowy mountains there, just in the foothills. Just a little appetizer?
Baby, let me be your loving teddy bear. Put a chain around my neck. Lead me anywhere. Oh, let me be your teddy bear.
Oh, I can imagine why you were so popular in the classroom. So when you pulled on the jumpsuit to do it professionally, when all of a sudden you just embodied the king, what was that like for you as a performer?
Oh, look, that was a great experience. I I got around a group of friends and said, look, I want to do an Elvis tribute show and put a band together, 12-piece band, local musos in town here, you know, and to put the suit on for the first time and do a sell-out show was a big thrill for me, and the people all involved made my dreams come true, you know?
Yeah. You know, the thing I noticed with you too, Len, other people, they have to put wigs on and sort of get into character. I'm guessing that's all your natural hair. That's all your natural sideburns. So you just look the part before you've even put the jumpsuit on.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. You are right. A lot of the ETAs, all the tribute artists, they wear wigs and stuff, and, you know, that's their preference. That's what they want to do. But my hair's all real and my sideburns are real. Yeah. So.
God, they must look with you with jealousy. Look at that head of hair. Can you tell us about parks? So we know that Elvis Fest is massive. There would be people here in South Australia who might have attended, but how big is it and what is it like? I know you've done 3 or so now. What is it like to be a performer in among the hundreds of Elvis, you know, tribute acts and performers that are descending on Parks, which is just a small little country town? What's that experience like?
Oh, it's a great experience because we're all one big family, really. In the Elvis world, we're all one big family. You know, we're all there to pay respects and pay our keep Elvis's legacy alive and his music alive and his spirit, and that's what we do. We all respect each other because we're all there for the same reasons, for the same purposes. And the Parks Elvis Festival is fantastic. I've been going to it for a few years now, and yeah, I just love doing it. You know, I love singing for people. I love making people happy, and but to perform alongside some of the other guys, you know, some of them are really good and some of them the best in the world, you know, and to be in that category, you know, and it makes me feel good.
Have you got a favourite sort of period of Elvis? Because there are some that just love Elvis full stop, but some like the early work of Elvis, some more the later Vegas Elvis. Have you got a preference?
Yeah, I like the later years, the 70s, you know, the Low Half from Hawaii.
Yep.
I based my shows on the Low Half from Hawaii show, you know, the songs, the ballads that he sings, and I sing some fast songs too, and I sing some early songs too, but I mainly just dress in a white jumpsuit, you know, and stuff like that when I perform, yeah.
And you mentioned performing as a kid, the music of Elvis. I guess like many Elvis fans, you would have grown up on, they were staples of the television diet, weren't they? Elvis films on TV.
Yeah, so a lot of movies and, you know, a lot of shows, and I remember watching his Low Half from Hawaii live, you know, by satellite on TV back in '73, you know. So yeah, so he's been embedded in my mind, my memory for a long time. On the other hand, you know, I am Len Connolly, and I am, you know, I like to be myself sometimes. But it's, you know, the popularity is really great. You know, I'm very popular around town.
Well, I imagine that too, because I guess when you're at a festival like Parks and there are hundreds of Elvises everywhere, you do need to stand out. It's quite a thrill, I guess, and a privilege that you are our best known and most popular Indigenous Elvis performer. I guess there's not too many Indigenous performers like that, so straight away you'd stand out from the crowd.
Yes, I do. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know whether you're aware, but in March this year I went to Dubai and sung at the Australian Pavilion at the World Expo in Dubai for a week as Elvis, and that was a buzz. And
how good's that?
Australia,
yeah, travelling the world. Is that the grand plan for you next? Get like a national tour going, you know, spread the music of Elvis, see people and get a chance to perform in front of people?
I'd like to do a tour of Australia. I'd like to just tour around Australia and come up that way to you guys, and different places, and just do shows, you know, and then maybe then go abroad, you know.
Yeah. Hey, Len, so great to meet you. Thank you so much for your time. I guess condolences, 45 years ago. It's a long time ago now, but Elvis meant so much to so many people. It's been nice to reminisce and talk about your career and continued success.
Thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure talking to you.
All the best.
Thank you very much.
Len Connolly, our only Indigenous Elvis, at the annual Elvis Fest there in Parks as we celebrate Elvis's passing on this day, 1977, 45 years ago in Memphis, Tennessee, when Elvis passed away at the age of 42. Len Connolly, my guest.
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will.
Let's finish the show at 10 minutes to 4
Love me
with a brush with Elvis. Have you got a favourite
love me
Elvis film? Is there an Elvis song that is significant to you, be it a marriage, be it a funeral? Have you ever been to Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee? Were you married by Elvis in a drive-through chapel in Las Vegas? I know that's a little obscure and probably not likely, but you never know. Do you remember where you were when you heard that Elvis had passed away? Your emotions at the time, let us know. 8223 0000.
Adelaide's favourite southerner, Fitzy, joins 5AA Breakfast each Friday with his AFL footy tips. Thanks to House Inspect Australia. Trust House Inspect Australia, the most qualified team in Australia for house inspections. Search House Inspect Australia.
Kyle and Kara's tips for tiling your outdoor space, thanks to Beaumont Tiles.
Our Aussie lifestyle goes hand in hand with the great outdoors. That's why creating a beautiful alfresco or pool area in your backyard is ideal for relaxing or entertaining.
There are so many new options now to create your own outdoor oasis, like Beaumont's new Microtech tile range.
This amazing technology lets you use the same tile from inside your family area to your outdoor alfresco or pool area safely, whilst being soft underfoot.
And when the rain hits them, they turn super anti-slip. Crazy tech, hey?
So use one tile from inside to outside for that seamless look.
Yes, and Beaumonts have a huge range of 20mm porcelain pavers that perfectly emulate natural stone without maintenance, sealing or cleaning.
For tiles for your pool, alfresco area, porch and more, drop into one of Beaumont's 110 plus stores.
Where can you dive into a seafood platter bursting with prawns, crumbed calamari, whiting, an enormous crab leg, oysters Kilpatrick, scrumptious scallops, chips and tartare sauce for only $19.90? Where? Sky City. Where else? Indulge in a deluxe seafood platter. Mondays and Tuesdays for just $19.90 until August 30. Exclusively for Sky City Rewards members. Not a member? Join now. It's free. Sky City. T's and C's apply.
Well, the final stage of Vista Glenelg retirement apartments, they're now selling. We're talking a modern lifestyle community for the over 55s, right in the heart of Adelaide's premier beachside suburb. These brand new apartments, they feature the private balconies, outstanding views, either the Adelaide Hills or the beautiful beaches of Glenelg. There's only 7 apartments remaining. This is in the stage 3 developments, and there are 2-bedroom designs. They're generous rooms, premium upgrades available. You can enjoy quality amenities and effortless living in a lively and connected community with a first-class inclusive community centre too. Best of all, you're close to boutique retail shopping in the Bay. There's transport, convenient, everyday amenities, and the premium dining and entertainment venues. You won't need to leave. It's all there for you. The newest offering from Caritas Retirement Villages is selling fast, so with limited apartments on offer, now's the time to downsize into the premier retirement village. Call avistaglenelg.com.au or Jane and Paul, 1300 796 311. That's avistaglenelg.com.au or 1300 796 311.
From the fields up north
to the oceans west,
we comb the land for the food that's best.
Great food lives here, Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, yeah.
I was quite sporty as a kid, but always had trouble with my crunchy knees. And then one day the right knee completely locked. My GP advised me to see a surgeon, so I went on the internet and thankfully found the Joint Replacement Clinic, who explained I needed total knee replacement. That was the bad news. But because of my medical insurance, there was no gap, not a single expense. And with the new knee, I'm swinging the old clubs again.
Ask your GP or visit thejointreplacementclinic.com.au. Renewing mobility, restoring life.
It's the Berkowitz Big Brand Sale. Save up to 25% online or in store at Berkowitz Mile End.
This is Leith Forest.
I just let the whistling go. just for a second. One of the dying art forms of music, the whistle. A good warble. Faye from Windsor Gardens wants to talk about the King. Hello, Faye.
G'day, my friend. Nice to hear you back on the radio
Lovely
again.
to speak to you as always. How are you?
No worries, and I hope yours the same.
Excellent.
My reason for ringing in is, yes, 1977, I would have been working at the time, and my favourite song as far as Elvis Presley is concerned is Fun in Acapulco. I've got one other question I'd like to ask you. You had someone on talking about the magpies in relation to magpie season, and he gave a web address. And do you know what that web address is? Because I'd like to have a look at it for myself.
Magpieaholic.com, I think was the one. Magpieaholic.com, so all one word.
Aholic.
Yep, as in AHOLIC, magpieaholic.com. Yeah, that'll give you all the resources. Hey, Faye, just on Elvis, though, so is that song the song that you love the most? Is that from a movie, or was that a single that he put out? I don't know that particular tune.
Oh, could have been either, but I think it might have been from a... Don't quote my word for it, but it may have been from a movie.
Okay, like your Blue Hawaii or something. Because I'm not a huge Elvis fan in terms... I don't think I've ever seen an Elvis film. We all know the music. And I can never determine whether I like young Elvis, like up and down...
Well, it's the one for the money, for the show.
That Elvis, or whether it's more your... sort of your slower kind of...
As the snow
flies. You know, I don't know whether do I like new Elvis or older Elvis? Faye.
Well, I think it's a bit of both, really, because I've, heard both sides, during that time, and it's hard to say, but I think the older one... the old ones I more relate to far more than the music of today, and this is just general terms, not singling out any single artists.
I'm with you so much, Faye. The artists of today won't be remembered like... I mean, we saw it in the Advertiser today. People were putting in death notices for the King 45 years on. It's quite
show this morning.
Amazing. Thank you, Faye. Have a lovely day.
You're welcome, you too.
Always
Bye-bye.
nice to speak. Faye from Windsor Gardens. All right, we're going to go. Sports show coming up. Big show on the way too. Graham Corns and Matthew Nix, the Crows coach, and tribute to Robbie Gray, who's called it a day. He'll play his last game in the showdown.
Hey, this is a call out to any body, person, human, individual, personality, and character. You can join anytime